So welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Konsantinos Elemenoglou, and in the next 15 minutes, we're gonna shortly discuss about pain points in delivering software, how agentic AI can address those. Thank you. And specifically for Smith. Smith is the acronym for Source Aware Master for Intelligent Ticket Handling, and is an AI agent that bridges two disconnected worlds: your Jira backlog and your actual code base. One basic thing that it does is that takes all the repositories of your project, it indexes them locally, understands code patterns, and eventually uses this knowledge to refine tickets with technical depth while doing all of that locally. So, just before we start, as a quick intro, I've been working for the last 10 years as a solution designer, business analyst, and for 3 years and a half now, I'm part of T-Digital. T-Digital is the Greek hub of Deutsche Telekom. And we would love if you like to connect with us and maybe afterwards speak on our booth. The sad reality in most of the Agile teams, a Jira story like that. Monday morning, you go into the refinement meeting and you start checking the tickets that you're gonna work on. A generic title, 2 sentences of descriptions with some acronyms, half written or totally empty acceptance criteria, a subtask that says do it, and that's it. Chaos in the room. Developers start checking about context in the code base to understand what they have to actually work on. Time passes by, and eventually after 10 or 15 minutes, we have to go eventually to the story point estimation. I see a 3 point from the first row, I see 8 points from the back sheet, so let's split the difference into 5 and let's proceed, because time is running out and we don't have any time to proceed. And the worst part of it, and the most frustrating, is that we already have those answers. We have them in our code base on similar classes and functions that we have already implemented. And right now, I would really need your help. Please, raise your hand if you have ever experienced a Jira ticket like that. 2 sentences of description, do it, stuff like that. Let me see the hands. Please, bear with me for a moment. Please don't put your hands down, because I have another question for you. Let's imagine, in the past month of your working life, have you heard from your manager the following? You are doing a great job, but you have to be more productive, more efficient, and deliver faster. Have you heard that? Raise the other hand as well. Let me see hands. Okay, a huge applause to you guys, because we are surviving 2026 in this industry. And zooming out from the pain point in the Agile team, now I'm going to talk about the big elephant in the room. Worldwide, the problem in our industry. We need to be more productive, we need to be more efficient, and eventually, we need to have less time to market. I don't know if any of you knows what time to market is. Raise the hand. If not, yeah, some know. If not, so time to market is the basic indicator of success when you deliver software. And it starts from the moment when a wish from your client lands on your backlog as a Jira initiative, until the moment you deliver this feature into your client's hand. And of course, then you're all gonna say, okay, we have AI, we have software development, why don't you just code faster? Copilot, Claude, code generation, everything. And yes, that's true. In a way, that's also a way. But that's not the big pain point, and that's not actually the real bottleneck. From what we have tracked down internally in Telecom, but we also see the same pattern externally, implementation part in the software development lifecycle is roughly the 20% of the time. The real bottleneck lies elsewhere, in the phases before, on analysis, on gathering the requirement, on designing. These phases are around 60% of the time to market, which means that more than half of the time is spent before you even write a single line of code. And that's where we saw an opportunity. Why don't we invest and focus on that, on the 60%, and try with an agent to make this time shorter? And that's exactly where our agent, Smith, stands. Currently, it is developed and stands on this key phase, on the design phase. It takes vague requirements and translates them into tickets with technical depth, with acceptance criteria, with story estimation, story point estimation, and everything. But since it is an ongoing solution for us, our vision and our current implementation is to put it upstream into one phase up, onto analysis phase. And now imagine that you have an area product owner that brings a new initiative in the backlog. This initiative has to be manually split into epics and then split into stories, and then the team analyzes and start working. But instead, you have an agentic system which automatically structures this initiative into epic and then design it into fully actionable items, stories, with a mature content for the developers to work on. So we will proceed with the demo, which is 3 different phases. So you're going to see 3 different videos. I will use this one. Yep. So the first video is about indexing a repository. The second part is to take, through code search, technical insights for this repository. And eventually, the big thing, the main core of our agent, to refine a Jira story. As a hint, because we cannot demo here our own projects and data due to confidentiality reasons, of course, we created some demo project and the mock Jira. So moving on, what we see here is the UI, where here is the place that we give the prompts. And here we ask to index the repository that we have stored locally here. Here is the section where we get the answers from the LLM. On the right, you see the section with the indexed repos, which is currently empty, the section for the Jira tickets, and the section where we can, for example, clear this part. On the left, we see setting logs and statistics, like how many code chunks have been stored for this repository. We got the result. What happened in the background is an answer here that everything has been indexed. And by clicking refresh, we see right now that we have the demo project indexed in our machine locally. Second video. Yes, and now we are, text repository. And now, sorry for that. Yes, so now we click for this repository and we ask some architectural overview of what this project does. Imagine that you are a new developer or a member, any role in a development team, and you currently have multiple repos, because that's how our agent works, and you can, with a single line, try to get an architectural overview for all those. We see results based by similarity, and then our agentic system decides what the response will be and eventually give us back those results. Moving to the next one. As you see, we have a full context of architectural overview of what this demo project does. And finally, the core part. Sorry. Okay, now it works. Great. So, finally, we go into our mock Jira. We click this user story. It's basically, as you see, one-line thing, like reorder to do items. We choose this one, and by clicking then here which Jira ticket and which repository, we ask from the agentic system to refine this Jira ticket. So now it understands about which code base has to check and which Jira ticket. It processes, now runs into autonomous loops, decides which tools are going to run and in what order. Here we take back results, again ranked by similarity, and when our system decides that now I have enough information to give back a response, I will do it. So this happened on the background, and right now we expect a refinement ticket for a, again I repeat, one line, one sentence of ticket. And then we get a full description with context, acceptance criteria, we get implementation guidance with specific files that actions need to be made. We have subtasks for QAs, for tests, and so on, with story estimations, we have risk, we have dependencies, mitigation, the next step. All that in just 1 minute. Okay, very shortly. Our agentic system, as you saw previously in the demo, uses 6 different LLM tools: indexing and listing of repositories, fetching the Jira ticket, searching the code base, the main tool, refine the Jira ticket, and get the RAG stats. What you see here is basically what we saw on the third demo. That's how our agentic system behaves in autonomous loop in our system. In comparison, let's say, to a traditional chat box where you get a question and you get an answer, agentic systems work differently. They reason, they decide, they act, and then they reason again. And this autonomous loop is what our orchestrator agent does in a way that decides which tool will work and in which sequence. And eventually, all those information are synthesized into a fully refined ticket. In a nutshell, this is the technology stack that we use. It's mostly open source tools and frameworks to build locally on our machine the LLM running. We have a ChromaDB that also stores the code chunks locally, and eventually that was what we'd like to build, something that could be easily done by anyone to create a solution that is 100% private. All telemetry is disabled. You can run it since the moment you download it and install it on your machine. It runs offline. Who benefits from that all? Everyone. The humans of the Agile team. Every team member on any of its role can automate its task. The ceremonies themselves get benefited. Imagine, and we highlight the backlog refinement, which can be turned from a discovery session into a validation session. And eventually, the organization themselves. For us, implementing this solution inside our telecom project, we have the vision to reduce the time to market by 10%. And this would align with the telecom's efficiency goal. Wrapping everything up, and I want to highlight that, we are not building a solution here that would replace any of these members of the Agile team. What we vision is to create a tool that would empower them, accelerate the boring stuff that they do, and they give back to them their free time and their focus. And because for us, your input is very valuable, we would really like it and take it as a gift. So if you like to spend, I promise, less than 2 minutes to scan this and give us some feedback, me personally and Taz would be very happy. So that was for us. Thank you very much, and we would really like to see you either on the booth or here for some further question and discussion. Thank you.